Welcome to BlackUSA.news morning show. I'm your host, William Honolulu Jr. Join us as we explore the news and opinions that impact our community. We break down how the major stories have a very personal, local, and racial impact. No topic is off limits, but even if the conversation gets rough, we're always going to keep it real. Greetings and salutations, all my friends out there in internet land. I am William Honolulu Jr., and I have the privilege and honor of serving as the host of the Black USA News morning show. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. You had choices of what you could be doing with your time right now. You chose to be here with us, and it is going to be well worth it today. Because today I get an opportunity to talk to one of my favorite people, Miss Erica Myers of Fosterpreneur. We've talked about Fosterpreneur a number of times on the show. You all know I'm not only a supporter of Fosterpreneur, but I also have the privilege of serving as the chair of the board of directors. And it has been an honor and a privilege. And I am excited to talk to Erica today because we are getting ready to launch our newest cohort. Okay, all right, y'all know how I do. Y'all, oh my God, y'all know how this. I get excited. It's gonna end up being a show note, so let me make sure I cover all the stuff they say I need to cover, because you can't just go around having fun here all day long. Yeah, I don't know why, because it's my show. I should be able to do what I want, right? I mean, well, not my network, but whatever. The cool part is I get to talk about stuff that I think is important, like Breadcoin. Breadcoin is an organization that takes donations and contributions and they turn them into food. The way that they do that is that they take the donations and they match them up to the coins that they mint, these bread coins. And individuals get these bread coins through a network of advocates and individuals who are already in the community, already working with people who live in starvation zones where there's nothing but kind of fast food and greasy food and non-healthy food in their area. People who are homeless or otherwise food insecure, they are able to get these coins into their hands. And so, for example, right now, each coin has a value of about $2.50. So an individual can take these coins with whatever money they have, and they can buy food. They can go to the participating restaurants and the participating caterers, and they can eat, and nobody needs to know about their circumstance. That's one of the things I do appreciate most about Black USA News' partnership with Breakcoin. That Breakcoin is an organization that doesn't require you to sacrifice your dignity in order to get help. There are a lot of times in our society where that's what's necessary. I've heard people, hell, I've been people who say, well, they don't look like they really need it. Or, you tell me you struggling to get school supplies, but you come in here with Jordans. And I'm embarrassed that I used to think that, because we don't get to dictate the circumstances that people find themselves in. We help because it's the right thing to do. What do they say? Service is the rent that we pay to be on the planet. And so our service shouldn't be contingent on how someone looks or how worthy they are for our help, because it's help. Let's not forget that we do not have the privileges that we enjoy on our own. There are other people who helped us. And so I am grateful for the opportunity to partner with Breadcoin to find ways to help people. Another group of people that is supposed to be helping are our elected officials. As you all know, Maryland is having its 2020 elections, and Black USA News has pulled together our coverage from across the interwebs. We've talked to candidates. We had our own host comment on the elections and the races and the candidates, and we pulled that together so that you can find it in one place, because it's really important that we know who is running for these offices and that we are in a position that we can hold them accountable to what they said that they are going to do. Oh, darker than blue grill. One of the challenges with having a show in the morning is that sometimes I forget to eat, and then I have to do ads for things like darker than blue grill. Oh my God, the food there is amazing. The Cowboy prime rib is phenomenal. I mean, I'm biased because it tastes good. But not only do they have amazing food, their staff is terrific, and they're always active in the Black community. It is nothing to go to a community event and find out that Darker Than Blue was the caterer. And, if you look at some of the budgets, you realize that Darker Than Blue was more like a benefactor in some cases than it was just a caterer. So we encourage everybody to go to not just places that have good food and good service, but also places that support the communities that we support. And last but not least, today we're going to talk about the Grinding Gang. That is my business. I am the proud founder of the Grinding Gang. And what the Grinding Gang is, it's a community of business owners and professionals that have gotten together to help those who are trying to get in business, who are trying to find their way. The reality is, doing business is hard. And there are a lot of resources out there, but there's also a lot of noise. And it's difficult to figure out what advice should you take? How many times in planning your business or your nonprofit have you went to one workshop and they said, oh, you should do this, that, or the third? And then you go to the next one and it's like, oh, to be geez, I don't even know what's going on today. Well, I might have a clue, but that's for the Titillating Tuesday show. I'll talk about that later. But in order to be successful, wow, you have to do A, B, and C. And so you're like, do I do 1, 2, 3 or A, B, C? And sometimes the answer is neither. A lot of times it is just figuring out what you should do, and that's where we come in. We're able to help you navigate all of the noise. We're able to help you figure out what your values are and what resources you need to get the business or your view for your business accomplished. So hit us up at www.grindinggang.com. Let us help you. We have free memberships, and it'll be a good time. Okay, all right, okay, all right. I know there's something else. Oh yeah, I forgot to let you all know we're recruiting for a new series, and watch this.
Greetings and salutations, all my friends out there in internet land. I am William Honolulu Jr., and I have the privilege of being the host of the Black USA News Morning Show. The Black USA News Morning Show is currently recruiting guests for an upcoming series on single parents and co-parenting. We find that there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of isolation in the narrative about single parents. And we want to make sure that we keep this platform available to tell the true story, our people's story. The topics that we will be covering range from health, wellness, type of support, how important your social support system is, romance, and things of that nature. If you're interested in becoming a guest, you can check the link in the description. You can email us at info@grindinggang.com, or you can visit this link. Thank you so much and have an awesome day.
Okay, so let me see. I think that's all the stuff I need to do because I know dope people, and I get all excited when I get to bring one of my dope people up in here. And then I forget I'm supposed to do. Oh, you know what? I absolutely did forget I'm supposed to be clicking buttons. See, it already started happening. See, let me see. Up, see, there it is. There it is now. Okay, I clicked the button. I ain't in trouble. All right, cool. Here we go. All right, so now I clicked all the buttons. I did all the stuff I'm supposed to do, and now I get to introduce you all to one of my favorite people, the founder and president of Fosterpreneur Incorporated, the incredible Erica Myers.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It's so good to be back.
Yay, I'm glad to have you back. All right, okay. So first, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well today.
Okay, all right, good business. Because you got to do the check-in. Because sometimes we just jump into business like, oh wait, there are whole human beings around here. Let's do some human stuff. Okay.
I always appreciate you checking in on the human element. That's important.
I got to remember it sometimes. So the last time you were here, we were talking about the launch of the partnership with Casa Valentina, and it just wrapped up. So if you would talk a little bit about that partnership, and I'll jump in. And well, y'all know I jump in because I get excited about stuff anyway. So, but tell us a little, tell the people a little bit about the partnership with Casa Valentina and how that went.
Yeah, so it's crazy to think the last time I was here was just a few days before I went to Miami and had the meeting with Casa Valentina. And I'm happy to share that, as William just mentioned, we wrapped up our summer cohort. And honestly, this was our first full summer virtual cohort. We did do one in July of 2020, but this one was a little bit different because this cohort was literally just for Casa Valentina students. So what was really great was that, during the summertime, which is a time that we are not normally doing, we're not in cohort mode during the summertime. What Casa Valentina asked, like, hey, our students typically have more downtime in the summertime. Would you be willing to have a whole session just for them? So we were like, of course, we're willing to do that. So we started off with 4 students who joined us at the beginning of the summer. And one of the things that we know is that life happens, and our doors always open. So one of the students realized that he wasn't going to be able to fully commit at the beginning of summer. And then I'm sorry, I said 4. It was really 5. I forgot about our later addition. So we had 5 students. And then one needed to wait until the fall to meet with us. And then we had really 3 students who rocked with us throughout the entire summer, also acknowledging life happens. We have these perfect pictures of what our process is going to be. Oh, we're going to do this. It's going to help our business. But then, we got to address those other layers of Maslow's hierarchy, right? So we make room for that for our students. And we wrapped up just earlier this month. I know some of our students are really excited about some of the ideas that they have had percolating in their minds. And I'm excited to see some of those things come into fruition. And one of those ideas, 2 students have been they're working on collaborating together to create this really, really amazing experience. I'm not going to say any more than that, but I told them, I'm like, oh, I'm already in because this sounds like something I totally would do, and it would be really fun to do with friends. So super excited about what's coming ahead. Excited that we did this and we learned from it, and just constantly realizing that our space is valuable, our space is needed, and that we're so unique in the sense of honoring our students where they are and just knowing that the door is always open for them.
Absolutely. Let me show them the Casa Valentina logo. Here you go, Casa Valentina.
And I will say real quick, I want to plug that if you didn't watch our first interview in March, you should. But just in case you don't have time to do that, Casa Valentina is where it all started for me. If it weren't for Casa Valentina, Fosterpreneur would not exist. So the fact that we've been able to do this summer virtual cohort, it has been literally a full circle moment that pretty much started 10 years ago. So really, really grateful for the privilege and the opportunity to work with Casa Valentina.
Oh, that is awesome. So big ups to Casa Valentina. Had a wonderful time working with the students, and I'm again very privileged to be able to work with many of them. Work with them one-on-one and in small groups in the instruction. So, and not going to just keep doing the same interview over and over again. That's why we have this on the interweb. So we're not going to talk about how you got here, but talk about some of the highlights of what during your experiences, president and CEO of Fosterpreneur. Some of the big moments that you think would be very helpful for people to know, kind of about the organization.
Big moments. Wow. I would say the big moments have been literally seeing and witnessing our students' growth. I don't take this work lightly at all. And just even thinking about where some of our students who were rocking with us from 2020 and where they are in 2022 in regards to their business and just their own journeys outside of their business as well. That's definitely been a highlight. It's been a highlight to see seeds that I planted that are
Mhm.
blooming. So, for example, earlier this summer, we officially welcomed 2 Fosterpreneur alumni onto our board. That's something I said that was important to me from before we even had cohorts. And now that is something that's happening. It's real. It came into fruition. Another thing that that's been a big moment for me is the fact that I have people that are finding us that are like, how can we help and support you? And we want to do that. Like, just people who have been so welcoming, just so supportive. Like, the power of LinkedIn has been like such a big blessing for me, for Fosterpreneur. um, I also want to plug William. I want to plug you, because you have been rocking virtually since day one. Won't ever forget our first conversation that we had when I shared my vision for Fosterpreneur. And if it weren't for you, we would not be in the position that we are today. So I'm super grateful for your support, your leadership, your expertise, all of that. And I could go on and on about it. And I will say, and I know that other nonprofit leaders, other entrepreneurs know that it is all journey. Like, it's not any end result. Like, the whole thing is literally a journey. And even when I think about different problems or conflicts that have come up recently and how I can like even reward my own personal growth in the journey is something that it's a big moment for me too, because it can be very easy to forget about how far that you've come.
Absolutely. One of the things that you've mentioned several times in the description of the student's progress or your journey or how all of this works, you kind of fall back on the phrase, "We know that things happen in life," and I understand how you manifest that, but what I want to make sure is that other people understand it as well. Because what I don't want to happen is that people kind of position it as a case of rah type, like, oh, whatever, because it's not that. Talk a little bit about how Fosterpreneur accommodates when things actually happen in life like we know they will.
So, really good question. So, what that looks like is our door is literally always open. So, I let students know, we let students know that you're, if other things are taking priority in your life, that you're not penalized for having to step back, so often, especially just thinking about just being a Black woman in America, just thinking about even the narrative people of color, we're not given second chances, right? Within this American westernized concept. Often, if you don't get that first chance right, that's it. But understanding that everyone deserves multiple chances. I mean, context matters. So like, don't.
Absolutely.
I want to say that because we can talk about other stuff where that would not be the case. But in thinking about the fact that our students can always come back to this process, right? Like, when it comes to their entrepreneurship journey, their entrepreneurship journey, or just how they want to be connected, we're not going anywhere, like, so, and I think about the bureaucracies that so many of our students have come from.
Mhm,
They're
mhm.
used to being penalized if something doesn't happen, and everyone deserves grace. Everyone, I truly believe, for the most part, everyone is doing the best that they can with what they have in the current moment, and
Mhm.
whatever the present moment is. So we know that, okay, we've had some students that have been like, man, I'm juggling too much with school, like parenthood, my job, I can't do this. And it's like, chill, it's fine. We're here. We're here. You're not going to be kicked out. We are, when your time is right, even if that time means like 2, 3, 5 years from now, right? We're here. We're here. And I think that that is just so important. And even when we think about, right, the concept of family or even close friendships, right? Or just even
Mhm.
relationships in peer, like in general, everyone goes through ups and downs. That's part of life, right?
Right.
And we would not want, well, I think most people would not want people that they feel like care about them abandon them in their greatest moments, right? Or I should say in their greatest needs. Um, and what really makes those relationships strong is the people that, using Oprah's term, that are gonna ride, that are gonna sit on the side of the sidewalk with you when the limousine has broken all the way down.
Hmm.
And
And,
whether that's, sitting there, whether that's okay, let's like roll up our sleeves and push, we got to do to call somebody to help, so just recognizing that, especially as we start to emerge from this post-pandemic world. This sounds weird because we're still in
oh, I'm
a
sorry.
pandemic.
Nope, nope, nope. Things we don't talk about here. We don't talk about post pandemic when we haven't totally wrapped up
Fair, fair.
COVID, and,
But we
and,
have
and we got
to
monkeypox. We're not
exactly.
post nothing
So
right now.
let's say in our evolving pandemic world,
There
right?
you go.
Um, we all need grace, and life has gotten like, just, there are so many more challenges, or I should say challenges have been brought more to light than they were prior to COVID. So anyway, just giving, that's a long-winded answer, just saying we just give our students the space that they need and really reinforce that we really do mean it.
And so one of the things that, well, when we teach, one of the things we teach the students in the cohorts is that it is one thing when people tell you about what they're going to do. It is another thing when there's a demonstration, and that goes for potential customers as well as for vendors. It is one thing when somebody says, "Oh, if you opened up your business, I would absolutely go there." And you ask them, "Well, how much have you spent in a business like that in the last year?" "Oh, well, I never purchased anything from a business like that." Whoa, 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 whoa. And so we teach that. And one of the things that, one of the reasons that we do, and to Erica's point about grace, is that we tend to require a level of discipline and a level of discipline from people who come from disadvantaged backgrounds that we don't require of the privileged. We require public school students to be prepared to learn when there's no clear value to it. There's no clear that, they've not seen people in many of their communities, whether we're talking about rural or urban, that have gone through the educational system whose fortunes have been tremendously impacted. And so you're asking them to go here, and you're asking them to take buses and walking and doing all these things to get here, and they should be able to perform the same way that students who were well fed and dropped off or live close to their homes, that they should be able to perform on par with them. It dehumanizes the entire experience and requires them to be better because of their disadvantage. And so, as we start thinking about what this privilege type looks like, again, coming back to Fosterpreneur, it is not just that, Erica says that Fosterpreneur has an open door policy. Fosterpreneur has demonstrated it. We've had students who started one cohort and then came back literally years later and picked up without missing a beat, and still being engaged with us along the way. So again, there are a lot of organizations that say, we have an open door policy and everybody's welcome. But I always like to make the distinction when we have the receipts to back that up. So I'm just saying, okay, it's my show. I say what I want.
Definitely have the receipt.
One of the other things that you've done in developing Fosterpreneur is this idea of uh, active empowerment, not just because I normally say, well, not normally, but I have been known to say that there are many times where we empower people to their own impotence. We want them to know how to do all of these things, but it's kind of like financial literacy. We want to help people get all of the financial literacy to understand how to manage their money, but we don't want to do the things necessary to get them more money. And so the difference in that is that you again have been about it. So I want to talk to two ways that you actively engage people in the program. You mentioned before about bringing alumni of not just the program, but alumni of the foster care system to the board. And we've always had representation like that. But also talk about the alumni network and how those things work together to add additional support to Fosterpreneur alumni.
Yes. So, one thing that the fall of 2021 cohort really was vocalized was they really wanted to have a strong alumni network, whether that was meeting once a month, like really continuing that community. Because one of the things that we've noticed over the course of the cohorts that we've done is that our students thrive on that community. And there's been a lot of power in knowing, like, there are other young people out there who understand their lived experience and who are looking for ways to grow and build their businesses, learn about entrepreneurship. So, but like, I feel like people use the term safe space so often, but for lack of a better term, safe space is what
Right.
is what we offer. So what we started to do starting January this year, we had a few what I call kind of like drop-in sessions where it was, hey, anybody who's available, like here's a time where we can all come in together and just whatever's on your mind, you know, whether you need like a business question or it's like I just need to be plugged into a community of support. Because one thing that I think that I personally take advantage of is not everyone has such a positive community and people who, or consistent people in their lives who are pouring into them and not telling them what they can't do, or just belittling them. And one of the things that we offer through Fosterpreneur is that positive and not just rah, like I'm not on that. I'm talking about, okay, here are the resources to help you do what you need to do. And we're here and we got your back. Not any of the fluff, motivational stuff that you see that's pretty pervasive on the internet, but just providing that space. So we did that 3 different times this year. We also switched it up. Instead of having a traditional graduation for our spring cohort, what we did is that we had an alumni celebration. And this is where I did a remix on the Giving Circle. Some people may know Giving Circles where it's you have to come to a group where you have a certain amount of money to give to a particular cause. But this was different from that. What we did was we told our students, hey, here's that whole network. We're inviting all of our Fosterpreneur alums, and each of you guys has a unique need that you may need in your business, and all of you guys don't know each other. So there's power in building your network and a community, and you'd be surprised. Your other fellow Fosterpreneur alumni may have the answer to whatever that you need, on top of just our team as well. So we did that in May, and it was absolutely amazing because I think we had students from each cohort, at least one student from each cohort who was represented. It was like, oh wait, I didn't know you, but I feel like I heard about you. Oh, we really need to connect. So just knowing that it's like that communal piece is just so crucial. So those were some of the things that we've been able to do so far this year.
So, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the 2 board members. So there are 2 new board members. First, big up to Adi Duarte, who Adi Duarte was the treasurer and has been one of the founding board members, and has recently retired from the board. We are so grateful for her service and really bringing her perspective of her lived experience to the conversation to make sure that we stayed focused and anchored into the reality of the experience and not just the outsider's version looking in. Because, and again, big ups to you. One of the things I am so grateful for is that in your efforts to empower and prevent empowering people to their own impotence, you make sure that their voices aren't just heard, but they have realistic expectations about how their voices can be impactful, and providing those opportunities for them consistently. And again, making sure that someone with lived experience was part of that conversation. So big up to you. And again, much love to Adi. and we're looking forward to all the success in her life. And also, she's all like everybody else. She's always part of the Fosterpreneur family.
Oh yeah.
So after the big up to Adi, our two new board members, Anthony McCrae and Ashley Tate. Why don't you tell the community a little bit about them?
Yes. So I start off with Ashley. Ashley is just so incredibly dope. And I feel like I say that all the time, and I still feel like it doesn't really speak to her dopeness. But Ashley found us in the fall of 2019 via LinkedIn. And based off of her like tenacity and just everything that she brings to the table, we met up. And the first time I met with Ashley, I felt like I had known her forever, and just super impressed by her ability to write and publish books from her cell phone. Like that was just something that was incredible to me, and what she literally has done with, like, she is a living, breathing, walking example of starting where you are for real, and like no excuses while balancing motherhood, and just other things, motherhood with three young children at that. So she literally has made it happen. And one thing that I also just have so much respect and admiration for Ashley is the fact that literally I call her and ask her to do anything, and she's like, I got you. You need me to speak to students? I got you. You need me to like, once there were a few students that we worked with who have been interested in writing, I got you. Like, she literally will go to bat for us and be there. She's been so consistent. And just seeing someone with their consistency on top of everything she balances or manages, maintains, or integrates, however you want to describe it, like, is absolutely remarkable. It was so funny. When I officially extended the invitation to her to serve on our board, she's like, I thought I already was. And I was like, I totally could see how you could think that. But now you're official. So
Right.
Super excited that Ashley has answered the call there. And just with all her breadth of experience, with just having the lived experience of being in foster care, having the lived experience of also being a mom, also navigating all these different bureaucracies. And she's transparent about being human trafficked as well. Like, she brings so much value to our team. So super, like, was so grateful that she said yes to the call. And then our other board member, Anthony. Anthony is a living, breathing example for me of just like the power of relationships. And I was initially introduced to Anthony when I was working for Urban Alliance. And we just happened to have a conversation one day, and he had shared that he was in foster care at one point. And then he had also shared that he was interested in growing his photography business. And I was like, Anthony, let me tell you about what I do. And this was 2020. So before, he was part of the fall 2020 cohort. But I think we had this conversation maybe spring or summer of 2020. I can't really remember the timeline. And Anthony, his work ethic, sick. And when I say sick, like, just his ability to hustle, how during different times when he was like hustling to find a job since he had just graduated from college, and what he has done. Like, Anthony may be the student who's utilized your office hours more than any other student, and taking the feedback and growing and getting it done. And fresh off the presses.
Wait! I know what you're gonna do. Let me give you the whole screen for it. Go ahead.
So fresh off the presses, Anthony reached out to me this morning and was like, hey, is it too early for me to post on LinkedIn? I was like, no, it's never too early. And he had shared with me he wanted to post about how his photo shoot had made it to a magazine cover. Now, I can say with the utmost confidence that if someone had probably told Anthony this time 2020 that his photography would end up on a published magazine, he may not have been like, he may have been like, how's that going to happen? But just what he's been able to do and how he hustles and like really works to refine his craft and grow, and has been featured in the Voyager Atlanta. He has been doing work all across the state of Maryland, or I should say all across the DMV as well. Like, he is not here to play. And on top of that, he said yes to being on our board. So just really excited the fact that we have two Fosterpreneur alums that have already added significant value to Fosterpreneur outside of being in any board capacity, or any formal, I should say formal leadership capacity, and have done it. And I couldn't be prouder to say that they're a part of our executive team.
So one of the, and so is my show, so I'm a co-sign when I want to. Your credit is good, but I gotta, I feel the need to say something about both Ashley and Anthony. Um, as Erica shared, Ashley, by the time we met her, she had written 3 books on her cell phone. She didn't have a computer, spotty Wi-Fi and everything. She did that on her cell phone while she had a newborn. And when you read her books, you recognize that what she did was to take her journey and lay it bare as a roadmap for other people to find their healing. And being very transparent about what it was like to be abused, to be a victim of human trafficking, to be homeless, and not to live in those spaces, but to recognize that there is beauty beyond it. That she started when we first met her, she had 3 books, and she is now up to 9. She has expanded into doing workshops for at-risk girls. And honestly, one of the worst things that happened for her business was COVID, because when I tell you, Ashley went everywhere to talk to everybody. But guess what she did? She pivoted during COVID and got a job as a community health worker, because she wanted to make sure that she stayed in the community, that she stayed in a position where she could continue to serve those who came from the communities like she did. And so again, not just on their business grind, but good people. Anthony, his to watch him navigate and manage being an artist as well as an entrepreneur. To watch him being, and again, a lot of what people don't understand about entrepreneurship is the stuff that you don't see. The stuff that you all see is the result of decisions and machinations that have happened way before we get to this moment. And to watch him make a deliberate choice to balance being an artist and an entrepreneur, and then to watch that manifest into not only him becoming an artist, a photographer to the caliber that gets published on magazine covers and has a large following and a good steady clientele, but to also watch how he has maintained that artistic tint to it. And seeing how those things braided around each other has really helped him elevate his business, and not just on the, hey, I'm making more money, but really building an infrastructure so that he can launch it long term, like it has staying power. And just to give you some of it by the numbers, when you think of digital marketing companies that have good results, if they get 10 to 1, a rate of return of 5 to about 10 to 1 on their marketing dollars, they're doing wonderfully. This cat got 120 to 1. 120. So he got like multiple times what the heavy hitters in the market are doing. And so again, he's been able to do this by effectively spending, by doing targeted marketing, and really starting to understand, and not even starting, but really taking advantage of understanding who his target customers are. He knows what the models are looking for. He knows what the magazines are looking for, and he moves his art and his business in a way that just want to make sure, because again, I know dope people. Apparently, I think I may just need to change the whole damn name of the show to I know dope people and keep it at that.
Oh, you totally should.
Right, because that's like every episode is like, oh hey, dope guy, oh hey, dope lady, hey, dope. And so I just want to make sure, because it's important to know that these are amazing individuals, but their experiences can be replicated. They put in the work. They were open to learning things, and they were open to learning things about themselves. And that's one of the places I think that Fosterpreneur really, really does excel. And if I can get you to talk a little bit about how the team prioritizes mental health, not just in your interactions through the case management process, but also in the policies and things that you develop.
Mental health. I must say that I'm grateful that one result of the pandemic has made the conversation about mental health and seeking support a lot less taboo than it used to be. I still feel like there's elements of taboo-ness that are there, but a lot less taboo. One of the things that I share when it does come up in conversations with one-on-ones and such is how I have a therapist. And I share that with our students because I want them to know that despite the fact that I've had a different lived experience for them, that I make my mental health a priority. And I've made my mental health a priority for a long time now. And particularly for our young Black women who have talked to me about needing to seek support, I share with them the resource that I've used that has been so clutch for me, which is Therapy for Black Girls, that's how I found the therapist that I've been working with since 2017 now. So I use it as a resource. There's also Therapy for Black Men as a resource. And I share those two just because the vast majority of the students that we have served have identified as being Black. So just having that resource that's available for our students, and just for them to know that, hey, the mentors, the people that you're working with that are supporting you, they take this seriously as well. One thing that in the early days of Fosterpreneur, before there were any students, one of the things that I had that was a thing was we need to make sure our students are connected with mental health services. Because I understood that, regardless of whether you're coming to entrepreneurship as someone who has come from a family of entrepreneurs and knows what that experience is like, having been raised in it, or you're new to this, it is literally a roller coaster ride. And you need to make sure that you're equipped to handle the extreme highs and the extreme lows that come along with that process. And not only just that, but I'm phrasing on your part, or I'm
cool.
Hopefully it clears up in a second.
Yeah, give it a second.
Okay, I think it's okay. So
that's the beauty of post-production.
That life does happen, and whether that is dealing with grief, whether that is dealing with, when I say grief, whether that's the actual physical loss of a loved one, whether that's the loss of a relationship, whether that's the loss of a job, whether that's the loss of some type of stability, like those are things that need to be addressed. And even in thinking about the residual trauma that impacts how are not just limited to our students, obviously, but so many of us show up day to day. Like, you need to address those things. And I do truly believe that you can only go but so far within your journey, or whether it's entrepreneurship, career, otherwise, without addressing those things.
Absolutely.
I do believe the thing that wherever you go, you are there. So that can be a really amazing thing. That can be a not so amazing thing. Context always matters. So just the notion mental health is so important, and that's something that I do not try to take on because I am not a licensed mental health counselor, therapist, don't have any credentials in that space, but want to make sure our students are connected with those who can really truly support them in the ways that they need.
Sweet. One of the things that I also want to kind of follow up on the ways that we make the mental health a priority in the program is that as part of all of our training of board members, volunteers, or what have you, we do part of it is about trauma informed engagement.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and ensuring that people understand that just because you don't understand someone's circumstances or you would have made a different decision in their circumstances, or at least you believe you would have, they made those circumstances, so let's deal with what it is. The only reason we look back is to figure out what we need to do the next time moving forward. Not getting so anchored where we end up beating ourselves up, and figuring out, to your point, how do we plug into the mental health support, and how do we even access, because we've talked to our students about how do they access medical care and medical health insurance coverage in their communities. So I want to say also that while we spend a lot of time talking about the entrepreneurship portion, when I've heard from our students, the thing that they say they benefit from the most is the one-on-one engagement, the kind of more social support and case management that we do, instead of just like, hey, this is how you make money. Hey, money, 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 money. Okay.
Yeah. We care about them as whole people.
Yeah. So I know we're running up on time. This is one of the problems when you know dope people, and then you end up running out of time and shit.
No,
So
it's so funny because I think about, have we ever had a short conversation ever?
we've tried it. Normally, our short conversations because something else has disrupted it. That's
That's
normally
true.
about
It's
it.
always some other disruption,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like
yeah, absolutely right. Or and it's so funny. Even the conversations like, okay, I got 5 minutes. Normally take 10.
that's true. I
Like,
don't know why I set people up for that. I should know better by now. No.
But so one of the things that's about to happen is that Fosterpreneur is opening up for the winter cohort.
Yeah, well, fall cohort.
Oh, wow. I jumped all the way ahead. I apologize. I jumped ahead. I was like, oh, have we? Time has not flying as fast as I thought. Okay, let me slow down a little bit. The fall cohort. So tell us a little bit about the about what to expect and how people can apply.
Yes, so thanks so much for asking that. Super excited because our fall cohort is just right around the corner. Starting next week on social media, you will see different outreach of us recruiting for the fall. It's going to start the week of September 19th, and it's going to conclude. Let me look down at my notes so I to make sure I give the right information. November the 10th. The week of November the 10th, our students meet with us. I should say they meet with William on Mondays and Thursday evenings, and everything is all recorded. And in between those meetings, they are strongly encouraged to seek out one-on-one time with you. And what's exciting is that this is technically this is going to be our 6th virtual cohort that we have had. And we've had so much success with doing this in a virtual format. So I'm just really proud of the fact that we've been able to make it here. So it's at the conclusion of the fall, we'll have a huge celebration honoring our students. So if you know of any young people who have been touched by the foster care system that are in between the ages of 18 to early 30s, who are looking for some support, whether they're curious about entrepreneurship or they've just started and they need support in that ways and are willing to commit 8 weeks to the process, we got them covered. And as far as applying for Fosterpreneur, the site to apply is fosterpreneur.org/apply now. And they'll receive an email once I review their application. And literally, the application only takes less than 5 minutes to complete. We make it really easy for our students because we use our screening process to get to know them a little bit better. So it's just basic demographic information, just so that we know where our students are coming from. So super excited that we get to continue to serve more students this upcoming fall, and excited that getting with our expanded board, we have even more support and insight with ways that we can continue to serve and support our students the best way that we can. So don't be a stranger, share this link with anybody that you think that might be curious, and we will reach out to them. We are here to support them. And if the timing doesn't work for them, and if fall doesn't work, oh, don't worry, we got spring cover too. So we are going to keep doing this. We're not going anywhere. Can't stop, won't stop. So just like I said, this work is a privilege. It drives me. It gives me energy. It brings me so much joy. And I know you can agree with this, William, because we've had many offline conversations about this, but Fosterpreneur has just given us so much fulfillment in different ways and has been there for us when we really needed it at times. So obviously this is not about us, but this is not just here's a business incubator, accelerator course, and good luck. Like, this is bigger than that. This is work that we take seriously. This is work that we know that's needed, and we have seen the impact of our work time and time again.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna treat the people to something. You know what we're gonna treat the people to?
Ooh, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna treat the people to an opportunity to hear from our students.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Let's do this. Let's just sign off now, and we're just gonna let it fly. We're just gonna let you all hear, because it's easy for us to say how great we are and what we do and stuff like that. But I want to make sure that you all get an opportunity to hear from them. So anything you want to wrap up with for the folk, Erica?
I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, William. Not just the opportunity to be on the morning show with you, but thank you for the opportunity to serve our students together. Like, doing this work with you is such a privilege. And I could go on and on about you. You know it. So I just want to just give you your virtual proverbial flowers in this moment, because you have been so critical to Fosterpreneur and what we do.
Thank you very much. I am very grateful for that. And I am humbled by the opportunity to serve and to see the impact, like to literally be able to be a part of people working themselves out of poverty. It is an amazing feeling. And guess what? We want you all to know more about our students. So here they go. And we will be Black later.
Bye.
Hi, my name is Aisha Innocent. My business name is Shell's Closet. I will be selling women's clothing, accessories, sandals, shoes, purses, you name it. As I expand, I want to sell men's clothing also, eventually. I chose to start my business because I love fashion and I saw the need for some flavor in Ohio, and living in Florida, there were boutiques everywhere that I went. And when I got here, I was like, I know there's a mall, but is there any boutiques around? And my customers will purchase from me just because I'm affordable and I have good quality merchandise. I'm The one key thing I learned from Fosterpreneur is my target customers is not always close to me. It's someone willing to go out their way to spend whatever type of money that they want with me. Most impactful thing for me is that I always had someone by my side or someone to talk to about my business needs. Like Mr. William was always there, Miss Erica was always there for me, and whatever I needed to talk about or whatever questions I had, I could call them up at any time, literally. And you guys can contact me anytime on Shell's Closet _ that's my Instagram, and then also my phone number, which is 614-446-8434.
Hey everyone, my name is Anthony McCrae. First, I would love to give a shout out to Fosterpreneur for giving me the great opportunity to do this 6-week program to help better myself as a small business entrepreneur. The name of my business is iAdvance Photography. Basically, I sell my services. I sell photos, or I do various styles of photo shoots for different client bases. I started my business because I wanted to tell a story through my photos. The most impactful part of the program was being able to talk to Mr. William on a consistent basis. He helped me gain more knowledge about how to run my business, what I could do to further promote my business, and also just the overall view of like what a business should look like and how I should find my target audience. So that's the last 6 weeks I've been thinking about a lot and been reevaluating. So talking to him was honestly the most impactful information. But you can also follow me on my social media page on Instagram at C1CXRO. That's where
I'm currently starting my business, Healing Rays. Something that I took away from Foster's entrepreneurship this year was that the dedication that they had to show me that I had within myself. And with that, they showed me through videos and through one-on-one sessions, and the dedication that they never gave up on me, that they showed me that my work and their work is relentless. And that made me want to work harder on my business, and it pushed me to start a lot of things in my life.
Hello, everyone. My name is Danielle Reynolds, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. The name of my business is called the DR Boutique. It will be an online business providing products to women. So I'm currently in the beginning stages of my business. So I decided to revisit the Fosterpreneur program. They helped me learn some inside components of having a business. Pretty much learning the reality of the business, first and foremost. So we just have to understand that there will be times of failure, and that's one of the things that I learned, but the most important thing is not to give up, right? And so you want to use those experiences of failure to build your business stronger, And so the Fosterpreneur program was a great experience for me mainly because of the flexibility. Working with me while I pretty much balanced my school and work life. And so some goals that I want to share with you guys that I will have a successful business. And I want to create a resource center or program for foster care youth so that they can learn specifically about programs like the Fosterpreneur program. So yeah, thank you. That's my spiel. And for the future people who want to join the program, I highly recommend it and I encourage it. They work really great with you. I mean, it's authentic and genuine program, and they keep it real with y'all. They let y'all know it's just an amazing experience. It's a great asset, And so, like I said, I recommend that like the future people coming in, try it, join it, become a Fosterpreneur alumni. So yeah, that's me.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and this is what I learned from Fosterpreneur. I learned about business etiquette, as I have to say I am very bad at that. I will contact somebody after 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. I learned proper business etiquette. That was really important to me, as I already started my nonprofit, which is called Home Sweet Home Foundation. And so I was already in the process of doing business, yet I still didn't know business etiquette. And that was very important to me. I also learned about target marketing and target audience. I think it was more of like target audience instead. Basically, who are you trying to sell to? Basically, who is your customers and who are the people you're trying to get your message out to? I actually have to say I was probably one of the people that was behind on their homework. Running a business and doing Fosterpreneur was a challenge, but in a good way, because that means it kept me consistent. I have missed only one meeting. But anyway, and I also learned about, let's see, my favorite thing I also learned about was one of the ladies. She was a foster youth. I am so sorry I don't remember her name, but she is on my Facebook, so I'm happy. But she is really, really awesome. I like her. I hope she maybe will get behind my nonprofit one day, because her story I can relate to, and my friend related to her story a lot. So I hope maybe one day we can collaborate and she can give me some ideas. But that was my main thing for me, my target audience and basically business etiquette. I am terrible at that. And I am terrible at emails, but I hope to get better, and I think I will. So, bye.